All right. Hi, welcome to Resilient and Rowdy. This is your host, Jess, and I've got Rachelle, the founder of the Enduring Campaign, on with me today. Happy Friday, Rachelle. Thank you for joining me. How are you?
I am doing well. We made it to Friday, and you can't complain.
I know. I'm so happy. It's been a long week, right?
Yeah, it's been a very long, but
yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for just coming on and sharing your spiel. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am 32 years old. I'm a mother. I am also a veteran. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I served in 2009 to 2013. I always have to think about it. And yeah, ever since I got out, I, got my degree, and I've been working at the same company that hired me pretty much straight out of the Marine Corps. And once things finally settled down, I founded my own 501c3, referred to, called the Enduring, to really support veteran transitional centers. So it's an awesome, wild ride that I've been on these past few years.
I cannot imagine, and it does sound like you've been busy. So congratulations on getting your degree. That is awesome. Shout out GI Bill gang.
Hi, Bill.
Yeah, so one of the things I told you that really caught my interest about you is that you mentioned in your profile you're continuing to serve. Can you elaborate a little bit about that and why it led you to create the Enduring Campaign?
Yeah. Well, it honestly stems from the fact that let me preface this. I love what I do. I love who I work for. There's a reason why I've been there almost 9 years. But at the same time, it still is more of a corporate type role. And I felt this longing that I wanted to do something more. And it wasn't just about making money, it's about helping others, So once you get to a financial point where I can take care of my family, then I want to be able to help others. And there's so many great organizations specific to veterans, some that I've personally used, like DAV. And then I've also volunteered in the past, not at a transitional center, but at the Grand Rapids Veterans Home, which is more, for elderly care. But when I started looking at, okay, how can I give? What can I give back? I've always known of veteran transitional centers. Not very many people know these even exist. They're across the nation, and they are oftentimes VA funded, if not always. I don't think I've come across one that hasn't. But they still are in need of things because a lot of those funds and those grants go to the programs supporting the veterans. So things like shirts and deodorant and shaving cream and all those things that you need to get a job and to be successful that we kind of take for granted, that's what we're really focusing on. So when I talk about continuing to serve, it's my brothers and my sisters.
Absolutely. And that's so beautifully said. And I like how you kind of put that into perspective. It's like you're not doing this to fill your pockets. You're doing this because it's out of the own good of your own heart. And yeah, what good is it to succeed if you don't look next to you or behind you and look at, the people that have supported you or people that you don't even know. Again, it's that beautiful brotherhood that we always talk about. So I really appreciate that. So on your website, you have little wish lists. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. So, I do want to say this too, because many people may not know this. So when you're in a nonprofit, you have a board. It's not just you making decisions. So there's 2 other people. There's a secretary and a treasurer. All 3 of us do this without taking any compensation. We just volunteer our time, and then any donations that we give go directly to the cause. And you'll see that in the financial statements. But back to the wish list. So what we do that's a little bit different, and I see a little bit different. I don't know if there's anything out there that exists like this, but I guess what was important to me is not to just blindly support these transitional centers. We actually get in contact with oftentimes the case managers. Sometimes they'll have, a specific resource for, donations and stuff like that. But we work directly with them. So they let us know, okay, what is it that we have the biggest need? Because when we fulfill that, now they have a different need. So it's a constant evolution. And we just keep that door open to say, what do you need? We'll support you as much as we can, whether we have the funds to do it or we ask the community to help us. So.
Oh, okay. Wow. That, I mean, I had no idea. I really, really like that. So, I mean, it can go from the general basics of like hygiene to if it's a specific case, like maybe they need a dress shirt and pants and shoes for a job interview like that. And that might not always be the case, but kind of like you said, it's a web and flow of your needs. So, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, and it's we've done so many. I mean, the requests. So you always have the consistent ones. Like I would say, razors is the number one. I get that all the time. Deodorant, shaving cream. Those are the three big ones. But then we've done things like there is a veteran transitional center in Wisconsin called Porchlight, and Porchlight has a garden for their veterans, just something that's therapeutic and gives them, this fulfillment of watching things grow and nurturing and all of that. So they said, can you send us seeds? And we're like, okay, we're going to send you seeds, but we're also going to send you all this gardening equipment.
Oh.
We've done furniture. So there is another center in Texas that they have cottages for female veterans, and they were furnishing the cottages. So anytime that we had enough in donations, we just kind of go to their wish list and start picking off on those things. But then, yeah, you have clothing. You have, with transitional centers, the goal typically for most of them, the model is you have homeless vets that come in. And they typically are going through a true transition program where they may start out more in group housing. So it's entirely free to the veteran. They get, some offer meals and stuff. It varies by center. And then there's more of like a graduation program. So once you focused on why you're there, so that could be substance abuse, mental health, getting support from the VA, working on getting a livable wage, you essentially transition into more independent housing. And a lot of the transitional centers, they will furnish everything in that apartment or that house that they give the veterans. So we do a lot of home stuff, the little things, pots and pans and stuff. We've done that a lot for quite a few of them.
Wow, that's amazing. Just like for y'all, I mean, it's nothing to just give and have that ability to do that, but for these people receiving that help, that means the world, because it's one less thing that they have to worry about buying. So that's really awesome that you can kind of just like slide in those times of need and provide. And it sounds like you have like a really good community of people like giving and gifting and all of that. So that's really awesome. Did you ever think that when you started your nonprofit that it would get to this level?
Not as quickly as it did. And it's still, so we got the official letter in January, and we've done very well just bringing awareness and gaining support from the community. But I always knew in my heart this is something that people would likely be able to connect with. And I guess selfishly, it's because I connected with it. So I was like, well, if I do, maybe others too. So
Yeah, no, I don't think that's selfish at all. It's like relatable. It's like, okay, you have this knowledge. What can I do with it? I think other people could really benefit from this. So I think that's awesome.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, are you also interested in joining the Space Force? What was, can you talk about that?
I would love to. And in fact, it's interesting because when I got my degree, I went back to try to join as an officer. And the Space Force still didn't exist at this time. I will never do it, but in my dreams, I will do it. And I would be an officer in the Space Force because how dope would that be?
That seems pretty cool.
Space Force. Oh.
Yeah, I want to be a space cowboy.
I know. That's what I was.
Okay. Well, it also just sounds like you've kind of gone through that transition yourself. Um, what what lessons would you say you learned during your transition, and how you're trying to use that knowledge to help others now? I mean, besides through the nonprofit.
Yeah. I would say a few different ways. I think um, you can say this all you want, but it's never going to resonate because a lot of service members are so young. Like I was. I was not financially responsible. I was 19 when I joined and had no concept of that. So when I got out at 23 and I had a kid, I had nothing. I had nothing to my name. I had a car payment, and life just kind of smacks you in the face. But one thing that I will give myself credit for is I hit the ground running. I have this child that I'm responsible for, and I got the first job that would take me, and I signed up for school. Luckily, I got out in January and just met the deadline so I could start getting my BAH. And then also, a lot of, I can't speak for every state, but I know a lot of states have, unemployment offices, but they have sometimes dedicated resources for veterans, which is exactly what I did. I just researched everything that I could possibly do to bring stability to my life, but it was hard. That was the hardest point in my life. So I would say a financial responsibility, if you could, save for that rainy day, but save when you get out for when you get out, if you're getting out, that one is huge. And then the other thing is there is a community out there. You just have to find it. Nobody's going to help you. Nobody. If you're not willing to seek that help or seek friendships or build that community for yourself, and it could be 1 to 2 people, but we need people. And so that's one thing. I am a very shy person, actually, which is kind of ironic, but I always never know who you're going to meet. You never know what type of support you can give them and they give you. And so I just try to open myself up, a lot for veterans, especially female veterans. So yeah, that's another big thing.
Yeah, those are huge. And you're hitting right in that ballpark. Like, if you know you're gonna get out, I think within that first year, like, start minimizing those bills. Like, what bills can you lower? What bills can you take away? Because yeah, I think we were just so used to just getting paid and relying on that income as if it was going to be forever, and it's not. Nothing is ever forever. So that was one of the things that helped me, because I was like talking to other people in my shop, like, oh, how much are you paying for your phone bill, stuff like that. And then you can kind of see, like, oh, I'm paying how much for just one line? Oh my gosh, like, let's try to cut that bill in half or something. And I think you're especially right about the community part. And I want to emphasize on that it's not always going to be like at the bar or associated with alcohol. And you kind of want to find a community outside of the drinking culture, if possible. It can be really unhealthy, but it can definitely be like like kind of like if you're doing those like irreverent warrior hikes, like you're going on a hike and then after you have a beer. That's absolutely great. But socializing with just alcohol can kind of, it's not healthy to do that all the time. And sometimes, like, alcohol brings out not the best in people. So emotions, anger, all that jazz. But that community is out there and you just have to get creative with it. And I like how you said, you even called yourself out, like, okay, I got to talk to people too. And sometimes it's like, it's beautiful. There's those unexpected friendships and you can learn and grow from each other. And that's, I think, my favorite part about being a veteran and putting myself out there is, like, no matter what I do or where I go, I'm gaining something from it, whether it's just experience or sharing a moment with someone, meeting someone new. But it's never been something that I ever regretted. Like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's hard, especially if you're shy, but also, like, I don't know, if you're just like me, I hate people. And I'm just like, no, I'm fine. Like, I don't need anyone. But that's a problem too. So like I get in my head and I gotta be like, no, okay. But yeah, and the emphasis on female veterans too. Like I think we can all agree that we've had some not so great experiences with other women in the service or in life, and it's just bad enough when we do it to each other and we
Yep.
mistreat each other. Yeah, just period. So I feel that 100%. Do you feel as if being a mother kind of like helped you like really get your shit together, or was it like both, like you were leaving the military and you're a mother?
It's hard to say because I don't know. When I joined, there's a reason why I joined. I was going down a wrong path, and it definitely changed me. I feel like a lot of people join in hopes that it will change them. And there's some, to the credit, there's some people who just wanted to do this their entire lives. I was not one of those. I was going down the wrong path and saying, if I don't leave and do something, I'm not going to do anything for this world. So getting out, I do think I definitely grew up. I definitely grew up. So I do think that I would have been, as aggressive, because you're also coming from this feeling of, I had 4 years where my family was proud of me and I had that like sensation and I didn't want to lose that. But it did definitely, when I couldn't feed my own kid and I had to go to WIC, that definitely put a fire under my butt. Like, no, it's why these government assistance programs exist, and I'm thankful for them. But this isn't what I want to contribute to it. I don't want to, take from it. So as quickly as I could do that, I did. So definitely probably a little bit more of a fire under my butt.
Right. And I hope that you know that there's no shame in that. It's acknowledging that you were in a difficult period, and it's awesome that there are programs like that, but you expect more from yourself. You weren't envisioning that part in your journey. I mean, who does? But I'm really glad that it got you to like, all right, like it's not just me, it's me and him. So having that little buddy to like motivate you and encourage you is awesome. So I really admire that. That's some strength as an adult and as a mom too. So that's really cool, Rachelle. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. My little dude, I do want to mention on this, my little dude turns 9 in 5 days. Is it August 4th today?
It's August 6th.
Oh, 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. Oh. Dude, time flies with children, doesn't it?
Holy moly. And he is, I mean, I'm a big girl. I'm 5'10". His dad is 6'1". And my family, like my brother's 6'5". We're just big people.
That's awesome.
My hands up to my chin, and it kind of hit me the other day because he had been going to all these sport camps this summer, and he got t-shirts at all of the sports camps, and if you do laundry and you hold up my shirts to his, they are the same size.
Oh no.
That hit me really hard, and I know he's going to surpass me very soon, but when I was looking at it and I was like, some of them were even longer than mine, I was like, I'm just not ready for this.
Yeah, it happens so quick. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. I love birthday parties. Okay, Rachelle, well, I got one more question for you. So I noticed in your profile that you're very like pro Second Amendment, protect yourself. And I think as women, I think that's not really commonly talked about unless it's like those like really in your face, like gun bunny stuff on Instagram, which is great. I love those. But like real talk, like women need to have something, carry something. So I love that, you're vocal about that and you're not afraid, but you're also not too aggressive about it. So can you kind of like fill me in on your perspective on that and like your thoughts?
On guns, I was raised with guns. It was always, I learned how to shoot pistol with a Desert Eagle. And in retrospect, I mean, that's pretty brutal, but it's funny because as a Marine, I was expert in pistol and sharpshooter and rifle. And I equate that to being raised and started with a Desert Eagle. But No, I'm not in your face. I do have quite a few guns here. Definitely not. When my dad passed away, I kid you not, he used to have this closet in the front of the house, and the closet was always locked. And I knew that's where the arsenal was, but I didn't know what was in there. I just knew what he would pull out and, hunt and we'd shoot with. Um, I'll never forget this. When he passed away, he has 12 brothers and sisters. Well, he was 11. And they were literally standing in a line just one by one. And I would say for 40 minutes, just pulling out guns from this. That's what I was raised. So I'm not intimidated by them. I'm fascinated by them. But specific to your question about security, I'm not oblivious to the fact that chances are if a man is aggressive, even if they're smaller than me, they can probably overpower me. And I've done, like Taekwondo classes and stuff. And I feel like I'm probably a little stronger than the average bear, but still a man would have the ability to overpower me. And so I'm going through this transition in my life where I'm on my own, and, I'll have my kid every other week and then I'll be alone. And even though I am in such a safe area, or seemingly safe, I should say, I think we have this false sense of security when we're in, very nice areas, because bad people exist in very nice areas. So I'm not going to, be obnoxious about it. It was just important to me to have not just one on my body, but then I also have another SIG that I want next to my bed stand. And I actually found somebody sent this to me because I had reached out to the community asking, I need something that I know is right there and I can get to it, but it's safe for my son. And I found this company where I can literally, no, I don't want to tell you where it's going to be, or that defeats the purpose. Essentially, it covered everything I need. It gave me the security that it's there, that it literally takes, my fingerprint and boom, I have it out. But also, my son has absolutely no access. He cannot get into it. So that's very important to me. But yeah, I would just say to all women, I understand why there's sensitivity to weapons and guns, and in the wrong hands, they can be, destructive, but in the right hands, just keeping yourself safe and whatever makes you feel secure in this world, do it. Just do it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that, Rachelle. I think that's what we really need. Like, you don't need to go through something traumatic or an accident occurring for you to wake up and realize that yeah, you can try to fight all you want, but eventually you might get tired, they could overpower you, etc. Just carrying something might give you that better peace of mind that you won't be a victim, that you'll be a survivor out of that. And that's exactly what we need. We don't need to scare people into getting a weapon or carrying. We need to just make them realize that, like what you just said. And also just I don't know, we're living in some crazy times, man. I don't care where I'm going. It's I need something. So I
wouldn't say that I've had anything traumatic that has kind of triggered, this immediate, because I just got it. And then I'm actually, my CCW classes are in September.
Mm-hmm.
But where was I going with that? Oh, I don't want to be obnoxious about it. I do, the SIG I have now, there's no way. I'm tall and I'm lanky and there is no possible way that I can hide it on my body, even if I'm wearing jeans, and you would be able to tell I have something on my body. Ultimately, what I'm getting at is the intention was not to look cool or, let people know that I have it, because that defeats the entire purpose of having it.
Right.
But just that, this is going to sound so silly, but I watch a lot of true crime. I love true crime. Love true crime. You ever watch true crime and they always focus on the stories of nothing ever happens here, it's a quiet little town, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always think about, again, going back to that false sense of security, bad people exist everywhere, and makes me feel comfortable, then it is what it is.
There you go. And I love that. And again, it's not just you, like you're protecting you and your son. So as you should.
I should. I'm a mom of her.
Yeah. Okay. So Rachelle, thank you so much for coming on today. For people that want to reach out to you, what's your Instagram? What's your plugs? I'll plug those in. But yeah, can they contact you or just go to your website?
You can do either or. So with the Enduring campaign, all of the social media is the Enduring campaign. There's no spaces, nothing. It's the Enduring campaign. And the whole board monitors those messages. So if you want specifically to talk about, you know, the campaign itself, I would say go there. I personally have on Instagram, it is Freedom, and I only mention that because I'm not as good at going through the DMs. Sometimes it can get overwhelming, but I try to just, I try to keep up. So if you are sharing a story or something, rather than just saying you have nice boobs, I try to engage as best as I can, but sometimes it can just be a lot. So certainly, the campaign, we're always monitoring that. So I would say you do both, but
yeah. Okay. So holler on Instagram and the website and check out the wish lists. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rachelle. I hope you might be interested in coming back on in the future. And it was just so nice chatting with you.
Wonderful chatting with you. I hope awesome weekend.
Yeah, you too. Happy Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.